So last thing we're going to look at from 4.1 is the example 5, and it's basically like example 3 and 4. Okay, we're going to be writing an equation, and what we're going to do is basically create two coordinates. Once you make the two coordinates, it's just like examples 3 and 4. All right. So onto the first blank, where you guys have a bullet, and it says a blank is a linear function that models a real-life situation. You're going to just fill in linear model. Okay, on the second bullet, let's see. It says, when we are given a word problem, the goal is, and then you want to fill in this part right here. The goal is to take the information and create two coordinates. So if you want to shorten it, you could really just write that. The goal is to take the information and create two coordinates. If you want to just write what's underlined, it's a little quicker. So take the information and create two coordinates.
Mr. Chairman, is that the paper from yesterday?
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot that on my desk. I was doing the homework.
Oh, okay. Well, it'll be in the video. So if you need to copy anything after, you could always, you could always do it that way. Or you could write it on a blank piece of paper, but it's probably easier just to wait till you can fill it in on the page. Okay, does everybody have that part? The goal is to take the information and create two coordinates. Okay. And then the last bullet is it says, then using these coordinates, we will find the equation. Okay, so using the coordinates, we're going to find the equation. So that means we're going to have to do like the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We're going to have to find the slope. And you're going to have to find, what's the other thing you always have to find with the slope?
The y-intercept?
You have to find the y-intercept. And the y-intercept is always the number that's paired up with what? Like in a coordinate. It's always the number with 0. Yep. So I'm going to definitely give you a coordinate that has a 0. Okay, so that was really it for the bullets. Now we'll do example 5 together, and then I'll let you guys try the last example from your homework. Now, example 5, there's quite a bit of writing there. So do you guys already have that all printed? The power plan? Okay, so we don't have to copy all that down. All right, so it says, let's see. Excluding hydropower, U.S. power plants use renewable energy to create 105 million megawatt hours of electricity in 2007. Basically, what's going to be important here are the numbers. Okay, so I'm just going to highlight what's important. Okay, so one thing that's important is in 2007, we created that much electricity. And it says in 2012, we created that much electricity. So the 105 goes with the 2007, and the 219 goes with the 2012. Is there any question on that part? Just how much electricity was made by renewable energy in those years. So now it says basically to write an equation that represents that information. Okay, so what I did is I started you off with a table. And in the left side of the table it says years since 2007, and then how much electricity was produced. This in our table is going to be like our x value, and this number is going to be our y value. How many blanks do we have in the table to fill in? 4. And how many numbers did we highlight up above?
4.
So those 4 numbers are going to tell us what goes in that table. All right, so let's start with we'll call this row 1, and that's row 2. Okay, so row 1. Look at what's highlighted in green. What year was for the green highlighting? What year is that? 2007. How many years since 2007 is 2007? 0. 0 means it is the year 2007. 1, if it was a 1, that would be 2008. If it was a 2, that'd be 2009. So that's 0 years away from 2007. And how much electricity did they produce in 2007? 105 million. So just going to put 105. Okay. Now we have to put row 2. Row 2 is the information highlighted in the aqua color. What's the year? For the 2012. How many years since 2007 is 2012? 5. It's 5 years since 2007. And how much electricity did we make in 2012?
219.
219. Okay. So there's our information. Now we're just going to turn those 2 rows into coordinates. Anyone have a guess how we would write row 1 as a coordinate?
0 and 105.
Yep. 0, 105. And how about row 2?
5 and 219.
5 and 219. And now that we have it as 2 coordinates, it's really just like what I explained to you yesterday. We're going to use y equals mx plus b. We're going to use this formula to find the slope. And remember that the number with 0, that's the y-intercept. Right, so let's start with the y-intercept, because that's the easiest. What letter is the y-intercept?
B.
B. And in this case, what's the number that's with the 0?
105.
105. Yep, that's your y-intercept. Okay, so we've got that. And what's the last thing we need?
You gotta get the slope.
We gotta get the slope. Okay, and the slope is which letter?
M.
M. Okay, so let's find the slope. First, let's label these using like the x1, x2, all that stuff. What's the 0?
X2.
It could be x2 or it could be
X1.
x1. It could be either one. It has to be an x value. Do you want to call that one the first x or the second x?
I was calling it 2 because it has a shorter number.
Okay, so we could do that. So we could call it x2. Then that means the 5 is what?
X1.
That's the first x. That's the second x. How about the 105?
Y2.
Has to be y2 because the 2's have to go together. And the 219?
Y1.
y1. Okay, so remember your formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, that's the formula from right there. Same formula we had yesterday. Okay, what's y2?
105.
105. And what's y1?
219.
219. And then in the bottom, what's x2? 0. And what's x1? 5. Okay, so we're going to need a calculator.
I think it's 114.
Mm-hmm.
What's that one, 114?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's negative 114. And 0 minus 5?
Negative 5.
Negative 5. And because we have a negative divided by a negative, it cancels out. Yep, becomes a positive. And that's my slope. Okay, so I've got my y-intercept, I've got my slope. What's the equation that we always use?
Y mx plus b.
Y equals mx plus b. y equals, what are we going to fill in for m?
114 over 5.
5. What always goes next to the m so we know it's the slope? Yep, always put the x plus. And what are we going to fill in for b?
105.
105. Yep. That's it. That's how you do example 5. So let's take a look at the question from the homework and see if we can set that up. And I'll give you guys a couple minutes to try that.